Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Danny. I'm 30 years old. I live in Jakarta, Indonesia, and I'm currently training for a 1 hour 45 half marathon, which has been a goal of mine for many, many years. My fastest half marathon was 1 hour 54, and my fastest recent half marathon was 1:56. So I can tell you right now, it takes a lot of training to get to a 1 hour 45 half marathon for me. I am currently in week 8 out of 12, and my training has had its ups and downs. Even within this week I had my ups and downs, but one thing I learned very recently is that 99% of my training is in my control. There's a lot of things you can influence if you're just smart about it, or it's not even about allocating time, it's just being smart with stuff. Anyway, let's get into my week. I did this week 45 kilometers. I think it was 4 runs. My week started with a run that was meant to be on Tuesday, but I got really drunk on Saturday. Fault number 1.
Take the exit.
Which goes to show, if I would have taken a better decision on Saturday and just went home instead of continuing to the clubs, I would have been good for my training this week. So again, all is in my control. It's been a great run on Wednesday. It was a 10-kilometer run, easy run. And I loved it because since I got my new watch, the Garmin Forerunner 965, I can now finally let my phone at home for my runs and just go out without a phone and just feel free, and my head is free, and it's really good for my mental health. So I did a 10-kilometer easy run on Wednesday. I did a 10-kilometer easy run on Thursday. And then on Friday I had a rest day, if I'm not wrong. Then on Saturday I had my long run. It was meant to be a 16-kilometer easy run, but since it was the 17th of August, which is Indonesia's Independence Day, me and my friend Fahmi, we have a tradition. We go out and run 17 kilometers. Where the training bit me in my ass was the progression run, which I was meant to do on Wednesday. This morning I tried to do the progression run, and I did. First fall of mine, I started way too late. It was really hot. It was 33 degrees the moment I started my run, which is fine for easy runs, and I actually think it's good training to train in the heat, just because I rode across the Atlantic and 60% of my row were in the heat. So I think you shouldn't get too comfortable with your training conditions. That being said, for speed sessions or faster sessions, you should probably try and aim for good weather conditions. Again, I started late, fine. Training was meant to be 5 kilometers easy, 3 kilometers at half marathon pace, which is between 4 minutes 50 per kilometer and 5:01 per kilometer. So 3 kilometers half marathon pace, 2 kilometers at 10k pace, which for me would be a 4:40 up to a 4:46, and then 1 kilometer easy. The run started off nice. I did the 5 kilometers easy, but I realized already that my heart rate would go up very quickly. And I realize now that how important it is to schedule rest days properly. I had my rest days on Monday and Tuesday, and I only rested because I was a little drunk on Saturday. Whereas I would have been so much better off if I rested only on Monday and then have Sunday as a rest day after the long run Saturday. Long story short, my heart rate spiked very quickly, so it was quite hard to stay in zone 2 during the easy portion of the run. By the way, good way to calculate your max zone 2 or aerobic heart rate, take 180 minus your age. And so 180 minus my age, I'm 30 years old, is 150. So that is one indicator for my zone 2. And then also I did a calculation of my zones, because I don't really trust what my watch is calculating. And it also says my zone 2 should be up to a 153 heart rate. So it's quite accurate actually. So anyway, I was trying to stay within the 150 range. I started the half marathon pace section and I just couldn't keep up. I did a 5:10 pace, I think, for the first kilometer, and the second kilometer, I think 500 meters into the second kilometer, I lost the second kilometer as well. I think I was at 5:10, 5:15 as well. So I realized I couldn't go any faster. In fact, I was empty, so I had to walk a little bit. So that interval was done. And after that, I should have done the 2 kilometers at 10k pace, which obviously I was not able to. I tried for a few seconds, but then also stopped it. I did my last kilometer easy and then called it a day. I learned so much from these failed attempts at the faster paced runs. I should be hitting the splits, and there are workouts where I actually do that. Actually, I had a couple of weeks where I did quite well on that.
Continue straight.
But this one was one of those where I didn't manage to, and it was obviously I realized the importance of proper rest. And then I also realized that I do not operate well when I drink too much, especially when I drink hard liquor. Only beers for me for the rest of the year, I
In
guess.
400.
Although I'm planning a rum punch night. Anyway, so that was me. That was my training. 45 kilometers. It was a great week. Learned a lot. 4 more weeks. Wish me luck.